We welcome you to our Carbon County Commission meeting. This is August 7th, 2019. Would everyone please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on our agenda today is a presentation of Carbon County Employee of the Month. Rose, I'll turn the time to you.
Commissioners, I'm really excited this month. I'm excited every month because this is the favorite part of my job, presenting somebody with Employee of the Month. Our Employee of the Month this month is Sandy Regrudo. Sandy has been with us for 5 years. She started as the program coordinator for CJC, and Brenda nominated her. Brenda was here last month nominating Shelley.
You're going to think I'm a regular?
We have a list going, and it goes on for several months ahead, so we just take them in order. So I'm going to let Brenda talk, and I want to thank Sandy. She does an awesome job, and I said last month about Shelley, what they do out there is special. It's a hard job for every employee out there, and you guys do a great service for the community and for the families, and thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Well, this happened again way back in January. Sandy had just got her master's, and I just saw everything she had gone through for the last couple of years. And I remembered when she said, gosh, should I do this? I don't know what to do. And I said, hey, it's going to go so fast and you're going to be so happy. And it did go so fast and she was so happy. And she's our therapist and doing other multiple things, of course, but she's always been such a good support for all of us, our everybody here. So anyway, I think Sandy has done a wonderful. She's booked already. She's got so many clients already, and just seeing the difference. I even have a family I referred, and I could already see a difference in her. So I'm just want to say Shelley. Yeah.
And then I just wanted to make everyone aware that Sandy's kind of fallen into my shoes. She likes to multitask and wear multiple hats at the same time, and she is keeping the Children's Justice Center afloat while we are in transition of trying to find her a replacement, and she is managing to keep both tasks going and helping me out. So I really appreciate all the hard work that you put in, Sandy, and Brenda for recognizing Sandy, and I think that was pretty important. Especially when your other employees recognize your staff. So anyway, thank you, Sandy, for doing such a great work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I guess I'm supposed to
Sandy.
say a few words. I hate being in the spotlight. I like being in the back, but this was just a great journey. Like I noticed when I first started at the CJC that there was a barrier in getting our victims mental health services. And so I said, hey, Shelley, I'm going to go back to school. And it was just great because all of the stars aligned and I was able to do my internship there and then just go right into the therapist role. So it's amazing for the center what we're able to do. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you.
Item 2 on our agenda is approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Do we have any corrections anybody has noticed?
I saw no corrections.
Neither did I. So I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Item 3 on our agenda, we'll need to hold off until 5 o'clock. We have a 5 o'clock deadline on the bid opening, so we'll skip that and go to item 4. consideration of possible approval of the contract amendment with the Utah Attorney General's Office for the Children's Justice Center. Shelley?
Stay right up here, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So this contract is to extend another year of our Children's Justice Center services. The language in the original contract does not change. The amendment just reflects the funding that we will be getting for fiscal year 2020, which is $110,382. So it's roughly about the same that we received last year. There will possibly be some rollover money, and if we get rollover money, they'll probably do a new amendment, and I'll be back here. But right now, it's $110,382. So
Okay.
it's
Any
just the
questions?
I have no questions.
No, I have more of a comment. You know, obviously it takes money to operate, and that's been a struggle for your area, your department, and for the work that you guys do, just awarding Sandy. We can't tell you guys thank you enough for what you do, for the service you provide. We wish we could pull more dollars out and make it a little bit easier on you, but very, very appreciative for you and your staff.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve this contract.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with the Utah Attorney General's for the Children's Justice Center.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
Motion
Thank you so
carries.
much, Commissioners.
Thank you.
I'll just stay up here.
Next item is yours too.
Yes.
Item number 5 is consideration and possible approval of the Crisis Nursery contract with the Utah Department of Human Services for the Family Support Center.
Great. So this contract is funding to continue operation of our crisis nursery services, which is our 24-hour crisis care, 24 hours a day, 75 days a year. 65, sorry. I don't know why I'm on that amount.
Long years, a lot of work.
I know, yeah. Anyway, this is for a 5-year contract. The funding will stay the same for 5 years. The base amount of the funding is $135,000 each year for 5 years, with an additional $5,000 to do a post-adopt respite in home care program that we are going to work on, maybe with Christian, to do some contract services for that additional amount. But it's just to continue services in our crisis nursery and serve children and families that are in crisis. So,
Any questions or comments?
I have the contract and I don't have any concerns.
Okay.
If there's no further conversation, I'll make a motion to approve the Crisis Nursery contract with the Utah Department of Human Services for the Family Support Center.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6, consideration and possible approval of a grant agreement with the Community Impact Board, the CIB, for the purchase of an ambulance. Casey, is that one?
Commissioners, this is a continuation of the grant application that we had a public hearing on a little while ago. We did go before the CIB and were granted a 50-50 grant. And this is just basically the contract that with the CIB that they'll give us the money. So we provided 50% of the funding with our funds, and they were going to give us the other half in a grant. And this is just that contract. Any questions?
Any questions about it?
I don't have any questions.
And I don't either, so.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with the Community Impact Board for the purchase of the ambulance.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 7 is a resolution approving cross appeals of certain centrally assessed taxes with the Utah State Tax Commission. Christian?
Commissioners, we've received about 9
appeals, or we shouldn't say we've received them. They've been appealed to these centrally assessed taxes have been appealed to the Utah State Tax Commission, and we have the opportunity to weigh in on those appeals and set forth what we believe should be the proper assessment value by filing a cross appeal with the Utah State Tax Commission. So there are 9 entities that have filed appeals with the Utah State Tax Commission. And just for the record and for those who might be interested, centrally assessed taxes are taxes of entities or companies who have operations in multiple counties or within multiple states, or that are an oil, gas, or mining entity. So we've received, we're aware of appeals that have been filed by CenturyLink, T-Mobile, Pacific Corp, Union Pacific Railroad, Deseret Transmission and Cooperative, Utah Railway Company, Price River Terminal, Savoy Energy LLC, and West Ridge Resources. So if you were to approve this resolution, it authorizes the county to file cross appeals in all of those centrally assessed tax cases against those entities, and to allow us to litigate and assert what we believe is the correct value for those. And of course, the value is what sets forth how much tax we get from them. The appeal also authorizes our attorney that we've used for many years, Thomas Peters, to act as our attorney on those cross appeals.
Thank you, Christian. Any questions?
I do have a question too. Was, I think, item number 8 listed there.
Savoy Energy?
Right. Theirs was not so much a question of under or over taxed. Is that
I think we still want to include them on the list, just because they have filed an appeal, and that allows us to be involved in setting that amount, even if it's not so much a dispute as to, even if our claim is not that they were, that their claim is too low. It just allows us to negotiate with them and make our, reserve our rights through the appeals process. So we're not mandated by doing this appeal to then go, or by doing this resolution to then file those appeals. It just preserves our right to be able to do so. So I would recommend we leave them in there.
Similar to that was PRT, who's not, they might be looking at their value, but they're also looking at being locally assessed rather than centrally assessed. That's part of their appeal.
Yes, and they're on that list too. So that's an objection or a claim that they'll raise to the State Tax Commission, and if we file our cross appeal, we can weigh in on how we feel they should be assessed.
Okay.
And we're not really badgering you too much. We're kind of trying to extend
Sure.
the meeting out a few minutes.
No, that's all right. Those are good
Running-
questions. Centrally assessed taxes are a very important component of our tax base, as you know, and as the public probably, well, the public may or may not know, if centrally assessed taxes are reduced, we are then required to seek that same tax base from other sources, which are primarily individuals and residents within the county and county businesses. We're mandated to do so by statute. And so when centrally assessed taxes are reduced, it creates a burden on the rest of the county. So it's very important that we look at each of these appeals carefully and be involved in those processes so that we can preserve our tax base. Certainly we don't want anybody to be unfairly assessed, but we also have to make sure that assessments are not minimized incorrectly to the detriment of our own citizens and residents.
Thank you.
Very good.
Do we have a resolution number?
Let's ask Lori.
I'm thinking. It's either 03 or 04.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-03 or 04 pending the proper numbering.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So we're going to have a 12-minute recess until 5 when we can open these bids.